Hey, you guys. So, we're going to get back to the series of prepare while you wait and work while you wait. Okay. And it's funny to me that now this message is kind of tying into the last previous message to the young lady that I was talking to. But this topic we're going to talk about marriage, right? Prepare while you wait. How are you preparing for marriage? A lot of people don't think that you're going to have to go through a process for marriage. You do. You have to be processed for the promise. You have to go through an Esther season. Esther went through 12 months, a 12-month process in order to be queen. How are you preparing to be marriage? How are you preparing for marriage? Are you doing the work for yourself, within yourself? Have you dealt with past hurt and past trauma? Are you setting healthy boundaries and standards? Are you going to therapy if you need to go to therapy to work through unresolved issues that might have happened in your childhood or that might have happened in a previous relationship? Did you get delivered from those things? Deliverance come through knowledge. So did you go and seek the knowledge that you need in order to break generational cycles, in order to break generational curses, to build generational wealth? Have you made God the head of your life, the first in your life with everything? We have to realize that God said He is a jealous God and He would have no other God before Him. Have you made God first? Have you made God your husband? If you are a woman waiting, have you made God your husband? Meaning, you have to be 100% submissive to God first before He can send you a spouse. So, are you 100% submissive to God first? Because if you're not 100% submissive to Him, then He can't send you a spouse. Because if you get a spouse before you are 100% submissive to Him, then you're going to make your spouse your God. And when we are chosen and God has really ordained us to be with somebody, we can prolong the process if we are not 100% submissive. Earlier, I was about to say permissive. Have you got delivered from being the promiscuous spirit? In the Bible, when people are promiscuous, or the women and stuff was promiscuous, they were forbidden women. They couldn't talk to promiscuous women, or they couldn't date, or I mean, sorry, talk. They couldn't marry promiscuous women. So, have you got delivered from being promiscuous? Have you got delivered from that spirit? And promiscuous is not just with women. Promiscuous can be with men too as well. Have you guys got delivered from the promiscuous spirit? Um, because if you're still operating the spirit of being very promiscuous, you're not ready for marriage. So marriage is a thing. You have to be prepared for marriage. Do you know how to run a household? Do you know how to manage your emotions? Do you have self-control? Do you know how to operate in the fruits of the spirit? All those stuff ties when it comes to marriage. Are you doing the things that which God has called you to do so you can be found when it comes to marriage, so your spouse can find you? Are you operating in what you need to be operating in, meaning your purpose? Do you know what your purpose is? Have you discovered your purpose? Are you working on the assignments that God had called you to work on so your husband can identify you? Have you went through the process of where if God is telling you need to change your wardrobe, you need to change how you carry yourself? Have you did that? Because the way we carry ourselves sometimes can attract the wrong things. So have you done that? So are you doing, you have to do the work while you waiting for marriage, while you waiting to be married. Do you know how to date yourself? Do you have self-care? Do you have a self-care routine? That's important. If you can't love on yourself, you can't expect somebody else to love you the way that you want to be loved if you can't love yourself that way. We teach other people how to treat us, how to love us. So are you doing what you need to do within yourself so you can get what God has promised you when it comes to marriage? Do you know how to fight in prayer instead of fighting back with words? Do you know how to pick and choose your battles? Right? Because marriage is a good thing, but You're going to have to learn how to pick and choose your battles. What's worth discussing and fussing over and what's not. What's worth giving to God and praying on it and let God deal with your spouse for you on your behalf. Do you have a prayer life? Do you have a fasting life? Do you have a relationship with God to know when something is up with your husband and he can drop it in your spirit without your husband even telling you or without your spouse even telling you? Again, have you dealt with the attitude issues? Have you dealt with having a smart mouth issue? We have to, it's things that we have to work on in order to become the woman that God has want us to be, or the man that God has called us to be. All right. So, are you reading books to help you prepare for marriage? As far as, when it comes to biblically speaking, or when it comes to as far as hearing other people's testimonies on what they did to help them prepare for marriage, are you trying to surround yourself with women that wants to be married, or surround yourself with men that wants to be married if you are a man? And then whenever you start to do the work, you have to start walking into the spirit of a wife. You have to start walking into the spirit of a husband. You have to go ahead and start acting like it's yours so you can receive it. That way, when people see you coming and see how you carry yourself and see how you act and present yourself, they can identify and know, oh, she's not somebody to play with. Oh, he ain't somebody to play with. That's wife material. That's husband material. And people are going to have to think twice on how they come at you when it comes to doing certain things, because of the way you carry yourself, because they know you got boundaries. They know you got standards. They know you're not going to take no mess. So, are you doing the work when it comes to marriage? Because a lot of people jump into marriage before time out of selfishness, out of the fear of being alone and not doing the work. And when you are a child of God, you know that you are never alone. And even in marriage, while you're waiting for marriage, are you content in your single season? Are you happy with being single? Because when you're single and you are happy and content with being single, then when marriage come on, when God sends that person to marry and y'all get married, it will be an addition to your life. It won't be your whole entire new life. It'll be in addition to your life. Some people, they get so caught up in wanting to be married. That's when the idolatizing of marriage come in, and they don't embrace the singleness, and they don't love the single moments and the time that they can spend with God while being single, and the things that you can do while being single, that they idolize marriage so much that they jump into marriages, and then when they jump into marriages, they're miserable because they didn't enjoy their singleness. Enjoy your singleness while you're married. Whatever state you are in, you must be content. So if you can't be content single, how are you going to be content married? Yeah, and that's a word within itself. So whatever state you're in, be content, but you have to do the work for marriage. Because marriage is about compromising. Marriage is no longer about you. If you got some selfish ways about yourself, are you willing to give up those selfish ways about yourself to make your marriage work? Like, marriage, it ain't easy, y'all. I'm trying to tell you, it's not easy. It's work. Okay? Because it's not just you and no more. It's you and whoever God sends to you. But yes, I just wanted to come and just, that's a topic. How are you preparing for marriage while you're waiting for marriage? All right. And for those who are standing and waiting for marriage, and you know who your person are, have you surrendered it over to God and like, okay, God, I know this is my marriage promise. I know this is what you told me, but I'm going to surrender it over to you. I'm going to pray over it, but I know that everything is in control, and if it's going to come and it's going to work out in your timing, and you continue to still live your life. You have to do that. Those are y'all who are waiting for your marriage promise. You have to surrender it over to him. Okay. So I love you guys. I pray that you all have an amazing day. I hope you are learning something from this series, and yeah, you have to do the work while we wait for marriage, y'all. But all right, you guys, I love you, and I will chat with you all later.